Hi everyone, Master Crop here for Oaks Family Taekwondo. This is your video for our white belt kicks, all of our basic kicks. So as a brand new student, you're going to learn 6 primary kicks, and that might sound like a big number, and in Taekwondo there are really just escalations of these 6. Slightly different tweaks that'll give you a lot more options in your sparring, in your self-defense, but they all start from these 6. And so what we're going to start with is just a simple stretch kick. Literally, like the name implies, it's intended to be a stretch. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to begin with my leg being straight, and I lift my leg up. Notice as I do this, my ankle does not point. That disengages some of the muscles. What I want to do is keep my ankle flexed like I'm walking. So all I do is lift my leg up, whichever leg I want to do. Now, if I'm going to throw it as a back leg, I would have my leg behind me. Same idea, my hands stay right here so I have balance. I lift my leg up and down so I feel that nice stretch along the hamstring. If I did that as a lead leg, I simply shift my weight back, lift the front leg. That is your stretch kick. A couple variations on this one. I can keep my legs straight and then make an outside circle, or I can make an inside circle. They're what we call crescent kicks. So for my stretch kick, it comes straight up and straight down. For my outside crescent kick, I go straight up and then I make a small circle to the outside. Looks like this. Big circle. Maintaining my composure. I don't want my hips to twist or my foot to go any other angle. I want my foot to remain straight up and down as I do the crescent kick. That's our outside crescent kick. Again, like the name implies, I have an inside crescent kick, which is just the opposite. I come from the outside in and I come straight down. So nice straight leg, inside crescent kick. Again, what that would look like on Bob is I would either bring my outside crescent kick from the side closest to you across his face, or if his arms are there, this can be used to bring his arms down, but I would bring my foot past Bob going towards the outside of my body. If I did the other direction, an inside crescent kick, I would come to the inside of my body, okay? This direction. Those are your 3 primary kicks as a white belt that don't bend the knee. Now there's 3 that do bend your knee as you do your kicks. The simplest one is a front kick. Real easy. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have my hands up for balance again. I pick up my knee in front of me and I'm gonna execute the kick towards you. And when I do that, I can let my base foot pivot. But just like the stretch kick, notice my toes stay up and down. I don't allow my kicking foot to turn and do anything different. My foot is supposed to stay straight up and down with you as I do the front kick. The weapon on your front kick is going to be your ball of your foot. So easiest way I like to teach students is if we pretend we're mom and we're wearing high heel shoes, we're up extra tall in that ball of our foot, that's what we want to make contact with whatever our target is. In this case, I've got Bob with me today. So I want my knee to go straight up pointing at Bob. As I execute the front kick, it's the ball of my foot, not the whole foot. That's wonderful for pushing, but for breaking things like boards, I want to minimize how much surface area of my foot hits Bob. So I want to hit with the bottom of my foot, the ball. Same idea, you'll notice my knee comes up. As I go to execute the kick, I'm going to pivot and strike Bob. That's your basic white belt front kick. Now the nice thing, you can do any of these kicks as a lead leg, where that leg is in front, or you can do that kick as a back leg, what we call a number 2. And there's even other steps where you can step with it. Our last 2 kicks for our white belts are our side kick. There's one more called our round kick. This one, our side kick, as the name implies, I'm going to kick to the side of me. My knee goes straight up towards you, just like it did for our front kick. And as I pivot, I'm going to point my toes away from wherever I'm kicking. Notice my heel is going to go towards Bob. What that looks like is this. I pick up my knee, I'm going to look where I'm kicking. As I go to execute the kick, I'm going to pivot. That will give me balance and not hit Bob forcing me to fall over because there's nothing there to keep me up. If I do this as a back leg side kick, you'll notice my toes do the same thing. I bring up my knee like a front kick towards Bob, and then I'm going to rotate my hips and my foot over, executing the side kick. Now, last kick is a round kick. This is very similar to the side kick, except the weapon and the direction of the kick change. So instead of striking back there with my heel or the side of the foot, the blade, I'm gonna kick where the shoelaces go. The top of my foot, right where there's a bone on the top of your foot. We call that the instep. What my round kick looks like is this. I'm gonna come up just like my front kick and my side kick, my knee comes up. Instead of like the side kick where my knee comes across, I'm gonna keep my knee pointed at where I'm kicking. As I pivot, my toes go away, and I'm gonna have this foot come up to the side by my butt, and I'm gonna kind of slap with my foot. That's the very slow motion version of a round kick. What that looks like on Bob here, if I do my back leg, my front foot's gonna pivot, again, away from Bob, and my knee is gonna point right at Bob wherever I'm kicking. What I can do then is I'm gonna let that foot rotate, let that foot pivot, and strike Bob on the side with my round kick. Notice, just like the side kick and the front kick, my knee bends. My knee chambers and rechambers as I do the kick. Again, one more time for that round kick. I come up and round kick. You'll notice, just like my front kick and my side kick, when does my base leg turn? Not until I'm ready to throw the kick. Or if it's a side kick, I bring my knee in a little bit closer. And one more time, if it's a front kick, I simply let that foot turn as I do my front kick. Those are your 6 basic kicks: stretch kick, our outside crescent kick, our inside crescent kick, front kick, side kick, and round kick.